In this film we're looking at wrapping text around a circle using the likes of the ellipse and then a path. So as you can see here, what I've got in fact is two circles. In fact, if I just select on the left hand side here and we click on to the path selection tool, you can see when I kind of hold it across the Mark Cleghorn part, it's here, and I can basically go ahead and actually rotate my image and so on. And then down below, in fact, I've also got another path which is on the photography, which is in a second level here. So what we're going to be doing is first of all showing you how to actually wrap the text around the circle to begin with, and then we're actually looking at how we can actually apply the second element, in other words this photography part to it. So I just put the other one in here. I mean, this is just an example, but it could be just the word proof, couldn't it? So you might want to actually put it across your images. That's really just down to what you're creating this for, but it could be a logo laying over a photograph for the likes of the internet or whatever you want to do in things really. Okay, so just to give you an idea what we're going to do. So first of all, we're just going to put those into a folder away safe, and then I'm going to select onto the background. Now that we've got a clear canvas, we're just going to come across here and we're going to click onto the Ellipse Tool, and then we're just basically going to drag it out. Now if we want to make it into a circle around, as it were, make sure you hold the shift key, and that's going to control it for you. Then let go and ready to go. Next point, collect the text, choose a color that is the right thing for you, and then all we need to do is actually hover across onto the path until you can basically see the little kind of wavy line. Once you click on that now, it'll instantly put some lorem ipsum in there for you. And obviously we're going to change this into, I don't know, let's do the Photographer Academy.com. And that pretty much fills up most of it. And if I wanted to actually make it a complete, then obviously I could actually just put the extra spacing in there and so on. But if I want to now, let's just fix that for a minute. Let's go into the selection tool here, and now when I actually put it within the actual text, you can see I'm using it as the rotation now, and we've got to decide on where the likes of the Photographer Academy starts and ends. So the first thing I would do is actually, if I just double click onto all of the text there, I mentioned about increasing the space in, and let's just kind of just increase that just a little bit. I'm just grabbing on the little hand tool. Let me bring this across for you so you can see. Just actually on the scrubby here, and basically I'm just click and dragging it onto the right hand side, and that then allows the actual text to actually change its shape and things really, as far as increase its distance between the letters. And again, remember, all we're doing to actually maneuver this to the right place, wherever that's going to be for you, is obviously clicking up that path selection tool, clicking within the text itself, and then rotating the text to wherever you feel is the right place for it and things. Right, so there's our kind of basic, but let's say we wanted the photographer on top and then the Academy underneath and the Academy.com underneath. So in other words, the Photographer Academy is going to be our main kind of text on the top tool here. Let's just drag that around to pretty much get there. So that's basically at the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock with the T and the R, and that's good. So once I've done that, if I duplicate it, so if I just Control J to duplicate that layer, you can't see any difference for a minute, not unless I double click it and we just go and change some color. And now you can see as I switch those on and off, we've got a top layer and a bottom layer. So the first thing I would do though, if I'm looking to put the academy.com just down at the base here, I want to now really rotate this text. So the first things first, let's click onto the pink as the top, okay? So that's what's going to be our main overall. Then I'm going to switch that one off. I'm going to go into the top one, which is the blue. So if I go into the text tool and we just click onto the text here, we'll just go and select all of that. And now what we've got, of course, is our academy.com. and we're going to just rotate that around in exactly the same way as we just did, of course. Remember, we're just grabbing the path tool, dragging that around the circle, and eventually it's going to end up with the academy there. Now you can see by mistake I went slightly inside the circle, which we'll get to in a minute, I promise you, to actually show it how we're going to move on to the next step. So you can see here I've got the photographer now, but basically what I'm looking to do is just get rid of the photographer academy, or the academy part, and we hit that. And then all I've got to do is put this into the right place. Remember, picking up that path selection tool again, and then just dragging it back to the correct place. So you're going to get it on the 3 and the 9. But of course, we probably want the academy part not only correct, because it needs to be rotated around a little bit more, as you can see there. So let's do that before we do anything else. So just rotating that back around so it's nice and even in here. So we're kind of there, but I want basically the academy to be kind of the correct way up as far as the look. Now you've seen by mistake, in fact if I do it again, I just kind of drag it into the middle. You can see it drops inside, but now of course it's become smaller, and that's what we really want to do, is the change to make sure it looks correct. Now the way I do this quickly is to just Control J to duplicate that academy as well, so I can actually see the size. I'll just change the color for you a minute, just so you can see we're working on a different color again. I'll pick that pink now. So we're working on this top academy layer, the pink one. That's the one we're going to affect, and not the blue. So the first thing will be is, let's pick up the elliptical once more, and then we're back into here. Now with this tool in place, the first thing will be to push the text inside. Yes, so we're just going to drag it in, and then it's there. But now what I want to do, I need to make it bigger and outside of the circle. So if we right click and we do a free transform path, we can now just actually change the size of the circle itself to match it. And what we're looking to do is to make sure that the academy is really then coming in the outside circle. So again, that is just being done in the free transform, clicking onto the path, making sure you're on the path, right click, clicking it, then free transform, then just move in this case the circle up so it's going to be on the correct level, press and tick to it, and then basically it's done. Now I can just switch that blue academy off, and pretty much we've got our thephotographyacademy.com done straight away. So let's show you how to do that again. Let's just, first of all, we'll just put those into a quick folder again, hide that, back onto our background layer. So let's grab the Ellipse tool, pressing the Shift key as we do it, grabbing the text tool, changing the color to whatever we want it to be, clicking with the wavy line onto the path, typing over the top now, changing the distance spread of the text by just using the scrubby tool here to actually bring it back together. Then we're just going to go and we're going to duplicate this layer, clicking onto the path tool. We're going to rotate that text around. That will just take a second to catch us up. Remember, we want to double click it now, and then photography, whoops. We need to, of course, then free transform once we've selected the path tool, free transform it so to make it fit outside of the circle. I'm just using the top here as a guide, pressing OK to that, and then pretty much we've created it. The only thing we need to do then is perhaps just slicking onto the path again. Let's just rotate that text around a little bit more, just around towards here so it's bang smack in the middle. And there we go. That's how we put text on a path.